Salutations, everyone. This is Lucio from downtown. Swish. That's the way to start off a game right there. This is Razor bringing you guys another Overwatch 2 video where today we're going to be talking about the character that I believe to be the best support in Overwatch 2 right now. I know Kiriko is the new character in town and she's really fun and she's good, and I do indeed love playing her. There's a lot of cool plays that you can make with her, hitting those headshots, those huge Kitsune rushes, and harassing and then teleporting away is great. People are talking about Moira DPS as being a problem on their team, even though I did say in the beta, and I still do believe playing DPS Moira is the right way to play Moira in Overwatch 2. You're going to get the most value out of her that way. But of course, that doesn't mean not to heal, right? Like, I can be a Moira and lead the entire lobby in eliminations. That doesn't mean I was DPS Moira-ing, because I still, healed over 1,000 damage a minute, right? So if you're getting kills and heals with Moira, you're playing her correctly. But if you're just doing one, even if it's healing or damage, then you're playing it wrong, because that's not what a support is, right? ML7 loves to say that you're not a healer, you're a support. And I think a great example of that is the proper way to play Lucio, who I believe is the best support in Overwatch 2. Yeah, I'm not making any huge headlines here. It is also what I said in the beta, and especially on push game modes, I think he's just the GOAT. There's nothing better than speed boosting with Lucio, to take a corner, to push a fight, to get back to a fight before they engage the forward spawn, or before they deny your forward spawn, which you already had, or just pushing a fight early so you can get that bot push going, right? But I showed push gameplay in the last Lucio game I had, so I decided let's go for a wee bit of control here, a little bit of King of the Hill with Lucio, and absolutely dominating. I don't have to, sing the praises of what he can do. We already know what he can do. Nothing changed at all with Lucio in Overwatch 2. Granted, all the tanks got the CC mitigation that Reinhardt got at the end of Overwatch 2, so he's not going to be booping nearly as many tanks. It is still possible. You got to be real close, especially if it's something like a Reinhardt, right? But Roadhog always seems to have some crazy aerial speed and momentum, like he's Jigglypuff in Smash Brothers or something like that. But Lucio's speed and his healing aura, I don't have to sing those praises, right? We absolutely dominate here. They barely even touch the point, as we get more of a contested here on the village with Lucio. It's going to be a bit more difficult because they switch off of the Winston into the Reinhardt, which is a really good tank. If he gets support, as in heals, he can crush. The battle between Zarya and Reinhardt is really weird. The way that either of them can dominate one another really trivially, but the way that it can swing back and forth based off of the comp and the geography of the map. But Lucio is such a great support because he pairs well with everything. Speed boost, we know how great speed boost is. Obviously, you're going to get more value out of it in a coordinated push, right? Not necessarily like a death ball Reinhardt, or maybe death ball Zarya, nothing like that. Nothing so simplistic that you could play in Overwatch 1. But his speed boost obviously still gets you the value. No matter what tank you have, because there's only one tank on each team, if you can speed your tank into the enemy tank or speed them away, whatever the matchup is, in this case we have Orisa versus Reinhardt, we can pummel him from range, get his shield crack, speed boost in. She throws up her javelin so he can't do anything while she's doing a little bit of damage, pushing him away, and then you can finish him off, right? Or if he charges in, or you push too far in the choke, you can speed boost away. So he pairs well with every tank, and his ult it's incredible. It's still one of the best ults in the game. It's a defensive ult, which seems to be more and more of a rarity as time goes on when it comes to Overwatch ultimates. Even take a look in the support category, which you would assume most of the defensive ults come from. I mean, you have Nano Boost, almost not defensive at all. It's defensive to one individual. But a lot of times when you would pair a Nano with something, a Blossom, a Blade, they're usually getting multi-kills by themselves anyway. The Blade might make it easier, push them over the top to get the triple or the quad or something like that. But a lot of times may not be necessary, and sometimes you're just throwing it out just to keep a key target alive, your tank into the fight, or keep somebody up that's just about to get their ult that could be game-changing, so you need to keep them alive, right? Coalescence, yes, does heal, but its main power comes in just going through shields and hitting, and go as well as going piercing through targets and just hitting everybody as well as healing everybody. Valkyrie, yes, is good, but you're not going to get instant huge pushes. It's a slow roll, right? Valkyrie is a bit of a slow roll. You still need to perform during Valkyrie. Your team still is going to have to do damage while you're keeping them up or you're damage boosting them. You know, Transcendence is good, you know, especially, you know, you're caught in a grav or your team gets shattered or something like that. A lot of uncontested shatters in Overwatch 2 because Reinhardt is rarely mirrored just based off of his pick rate. A Diva Bombs possibly as well, while that, you know, is a bit more bursty than just a hammer by itself. It can help save, at the very least, your tank from a follow-up kill, right? And, you know, you got Rally, which is pretty good with Brig, but again, that's a bit of a slow roll. You still have to get the work done. The beat is just instant, haha, you're not going to be killing us for at least a full second, right? You can get anti during a Transcendence. Yes, you can get that cleanse with, you know, Kiriko's cleansing now, but if they don't have that option, that completely shuts down an ultimate if hit on the right target, even if it's just a single one, say the tank, obviously really important. And since, you know, it's only one tank versus one tank, right? Harassment is really big. You don't have the peel. So your Tracers, your Sombras, God, Sombra is so broken. I'm glad that if and when she does get a nerf, I decided to play one single solitary game as Sombra in one of my few DPS games, and boy, did it, I felt like a bully. I felt like a bully because it was stupid easy to just hack any squishy and just auto win that fight, because that 40% extra damage is ludicrous for, you know, 1.75 seconds. Absolutely crazy. You know, 1.5 nerf probably isn't going to be enough. Who knows? Genji gets a great dash on us there. We lose the first fight. Zarya Rein is an interesting matchup. Both are going to need some support to win that game. Neither is going to consistently win out, especially when things are close. Zarya at full charge doesn't do nearly as much damage as she did before, and Reinhardt's a lot less vulnerable than he was in Overwatch 1. He can kind of hold that shield for the win, even more so, but he needs support. He needs healing. He needs someone else to do some damage. But Lucio just going along the walls, pushing, harassing. Environmental kills are great, right? They're fun, they're nice, they can be huge, especially against a big target. Somebody, you know, they got nanoed, or they got beated, or it's a full health tank and you still get that boop off of them. I get the boop, and you know, don't get the kill, because Genjis can climb walls. They can, as well as enemy Lucios get the boop, but they're able to just get back. It is really nice when you can kill somebody with the boop that you know could otherwise most likely get back, because you know you just did it well enough, or they maybe had a cooldown. A Diva without her booster jets getting fully dumped into the well on Ilios is super duper satisfying, because she should be out of there, but she didn't have the jets for it. So Lucio, you know, he doesn't do the most amount of healing, but his ability to stay alive, it's unparalleled. Obviously, you have your Moiras that can fade in and out, but without that escape, if she can't keep herself alive just with a healing orb, any tank can still 1v2 her, you know, with anyone else's help. Usually 1v1 if it's a tank, right? But Moira can usually hold her own against any other squishy in the game. And as you can see, we're just barely losing some fights here, some single interactions, losing our Zarya early. But the Lucio speed, it's a check down, right? It's a safe option to finish off a kill, which, as we know, any single elimination in Overwatch 2 is a lot more valuable than it was in Overwatch 1 because the teams are smaller. Every kill is going to mean more. Getting a quad means you killed all but one person, right? Instead of you've missed two, and maybe they can make a comeback with their own ultimate or some sort of combo or something like that. Getting a pin and a shatter or their own beat drop. Lucio, he's a great duelist and he's a really good healer. I feel like I'm getting the same, if not more, heals per minute with Lucio in Overwatch 1. I don't really have to worry as much about, CC. Don't have to worry about getting flashbanged, which was a great way to deal with Lucio's, right? He's really, really hard to sleep dart, trying to possibly get him in range for a second boop here, but it's not going well. But we got the pressure, we got the resources out of them, and we pounce on a Mercy. Once she's lost her tank, she's easy pickings, right? Even if she has another squishy to fly to, as long as your tank is up, you are going to be winning that fight. So Lucio's ability to stay alive, the speed, it can't be understated, even though that's not a stat that you can see like you can with healing, right? It's like you don't know how many fights you won and lost because you did or did not have the speed boost on. It's your ability to dislocate an enemy teammate or an enemy off the high ground, right? They have a Reaper or a soldier or somebody that's waiting to pounce. You boop them off, you get them to half, somebody sees them falling down, you get the kill. That can swing a fight all by itself. Any pick is a lot bigger than it was in Overwatch 2. Your beats are going to be even more valuable just because of the way that tanks interact with one another. If you can just keep yours up and give your team the advantage in just that tank fight, while Lucio doesn't give you the biggest pocket heals like you could with the Mercy, an Ana, or even a Kiriko to heal as well as cleanse, Lucio's speed and healing and the ability to just do damage and get kills. He's not going to do as much damage as a Moira or a Zenyatta, right? But he can still hang with them in eliminations because of his displacement, his ability to just stay alive, be a nuisance. You can win an entire game just by stalling with Lucio, even if you are the worst team. So he's a huge difference maker. Don't sleep on him just because Moira, it looks sexy to be able to make and play huge duels in her favor, or because Kiriko's fun, you always want to use her. Lucio's usually the best pick.